What's going on, guys? Welcome back, LEOPAZZO Productions. Thank you very much for tuning in. In today's video, we're going to be having a closer look at this brand new product here made by OSEE. This is the OSEE GoStream Duet Kit, which is an all-in-one live streaming compact mobile device over here with a 14-inch display screen along with the switcher, encoder, recorder. It has so many features. For an example, like chroma key. You think this background is real? No, chroma key, green screen, just like that, and a couple of clicks within the menu. You don't believe me? Check it out. A matter of clicks. 1, 2, 3, bingo, green screen. Here is the before and here is the after. Really nice to be able to do all of this on this device and stream up to 3 social media platforms all at the same time. So I will point out, I'm recording this whole video right now to the Duet Kit via the SD card that we can just insert over here. And I'm currently recording at 1080p, 30 frames per second at the highest record quality. So stick with me, guys, because we do have quite a bit of information. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys to get you more familiar with the Duet Kit. I want to share with you guys my setup along with my audio setup and my cameras that I have over here and just how I have everything configured. And we're going to take a closer look actually at the multi-view screen. So basically what I'm looking at as the operator, and have a closer look at some settings. If you want a more detailed video with more information on some stuff that I did not cover in this video, let me know down in the comments and I can possibly make a future video or just simply answer your question in the comment as well. So guys, let's go ahead and jump into it. First things first, let's go and talk about my audio setup for this video. So right now I am using the Rode Wireless Pro microphone kit, which does have internal recording that I have enabled just in case for like an audio backup file. But I actually do have the receiver end right over here at the side of the Duet Kit, just mounted onto the cheese plates that we have on either side of the Duet. And I have that receiver plugged into the Duet via the microphone input number 1. So we do have 2 microphone inputs. Again, the Rode Wireless Pro receiver is connected to mic 1. And as far as microphone 2, I'm actually using my iPhone 14 Pro Max over here, and I have it connected to the back of the Duet to the microphone number 2, which is set to a line input that I configured within the menu. That's as far as my audio setup in this video. I can also send the audio from my cameras, but for what I need for this demonstration, I just need my microphone, maybe some audio from my phone for an example, like music, sound effects, whatever I kind of want to add, and I can adjust all of these levels right over here within the Duet. I am not using a PC for this setup whatsoever. I'm pretty much doing this all from the Duet Kit. Fantastic. So let's jump into my first 3 SDI camera, 3 SDI inputs that I've connected. I have one to my left, one in front of me that you guys are looking at, and one just over to the right. So here we go. Let's make a cut onto the Duet, and bingo, here we have the PTZ camera onto the left-hand side, giving you guys a view over here from the left side of the Duet. You can see that I do have a PTZ camera mounted onto the side of the cheese plate of the Duet. We will have a closer look at this camera shortly. This is the OBSBot Tail Air, which is connected to the Duet via NDI. So I'm going to take you through the NDI process as well. And now you can also see from this view, we do have a joystick controller that I'm able to control each one of these PTZ cameras. Just to give you a quick little example, here's a little zoom in, here's a little zoom out. I can go ahead and obviously pan to the left or right. I can obviously tilt up and down as well. And I can also call up some presets that I configured over here. So let's go back to preset number 1. Let's go to preset number 2 and preset number 3. Giving you guys a shot of me. This camera is right over here onto my desk, maybe about just an arm's reach away, as you guys can see. Let's go to preset number 5. Preset number 5 is giving you a look at one of the PTZ cameras that I have connected via HDMI. We'll look at a view from this camera shortly. This is the Feel World 4K 20 times zoom. Let's call up preset number 4. I think I missed preset number 4, which is coming over here to my right hand side. This is another PTZ camera which I'm controlling through this controller joystick and is also connected to the Duet via HDMI as well. So let's go back to preset number 1 from this camera. This is SDI input number 1. Let's go ahead and switch to SDI input number 2. So let's check out number 2. Well, this is number 2 finished product actually. Let's take a look at the before, which you guys are already familiar with. So let's go ahead and make a cut, and bang, this is the before, this is the after. So let's go ahead and cut to SDI input number 3. And here we go. This is another PTZ camera, zoomed in a bit, the before, the green screen effect. And I've actually configured some presets on this one to take you guys a closer look at the back of the Duet. So let's come over here to the joystick controller and let's go ahead and call up preset number 2. Preset number 2 is showing you guys the back of the controller that I'm using for all of these PTZ cameras and the back of the Duet. Let's call up preset number 3. And sure enough, what did I do? Give you guys a closer look over here at the back of the Duet. So starting off onto the left-hand side, there is a DC input. So that's another powering option. We do have next to that a DC output, which is a 5 volts. And then we have the very next cable over here, which is my audio input from my phone, which is microphone number 2. These 3 black cables over here are the 3 HDMI inputs. Just underneath the HDMI inputs, I do have 3 SDI inputs. So next over here, we do have these 2 light blue HDMI cables. So let's start off with this one right over here that I'm touching. This is my HDMI output number 1 from the Duet, which I would typically send over to an external monitor so I can basically have a view of my program, just another external monitor program. This is my Multiview in the Duet and an external monitor as my program. That's what I would normally do. But what I have actually done for this video, let's cut back to it. I've taken this HDMI output and I've sent it as an input. Okay, so yes, I'm taking the output from the Duet and I'm sending it to HDMI input number 4. And the reason why I did that is because I configured within the menu for that output not to be a program. I've configured it to be multi-view, so I can share with you guys specifically in this video a closer look at the multi-view and all the menu. And we're gonna take a look at that shortly. So next over here, we do have these 2 USB-C cables. So the top one is USB 1, which is an output, which I'm sending actually to my PC, and I have it opened in OBS, and I can actually live stream in OBS if I want to, or I can actually just do like a backup recording on OBS as well. The USB-C number 2 at the bottom over there, I actually have it connected to a webcam that I have at the top of the Duet Kit, which we will have a closer look at shortly. Another feature of USB-C number 2, we can actually connect it to our mobile phones. For an example, a USB-C to Lightning cable if you have the iPhone, and you can actually turn on hotspot and tether it off from your phone over here to the Duet if you do not have a network cable, which is this darker blue network cable over here at the back of the Duet, which is supplying the Duet with a network that we can go ahead and live stream from the Duet directly. And next over here, finally, all the way to the right hand side, we do have the AC power supply that we can just go ahead and power the kit by plugging it into the wall. So again, now that you guys are more familiar with my 3 PTZ cameras over here via SDI, let's go ahead and switch over to my HDMI cameras, because I do have 3 other cameras connected via HDMI. So for me to do that, I actually need to go within the menu. So let's go ahead. I'm going to show you how I did this later, but for right now, I'm just going to go into the menu. I'll just talk it through with you guys right now and scroll down to settings. And within the settings tab, I want to go to source selection. So currently right now, my inputs 1, 2, and 3 are set to SDI because I specifically wanted SDI inputs to be displayed. So I just changed inputs 1, 2, and 3 from SDI now over to HDMI auto. So here we have my HDMI input number 1, which is this PTZ camera you guys were taking a look at earlier, the Feel World 4K PTZ camera with 20 times zoom. I also do have full control over here of this PTZ camera on this joystick. Just to go ahead and give you an example, I can also call up some presets that I have. Let's go to preset number 2, just quickly going by this. Let's go preset number 3, giving you guys an even tighter shot. Let's go to preset number 4. Preset number 4 is giving you a closer look at the controller here. And now you guys are a little bit more familiar with my HDMI input number 1. Let's go ahead and switch to HDMI input number 2, which is this top-down view over here. So let's go ahead and preview HDMI input number 2 and let's cut to it. Bang, here we go. This is the Panasonic GH6 top-down view set to 1080p, 30 frames per second. And it's giving you guys a nice closer look over here in the inside of the Duet. You can see that I do have the receiver over here, the Rode Wireless Pro for my audio. I do have my headphone jack also plugged in, and we do have a built-in fan and some switches and the deck and just the overall general layout. One thing that I wanted to just briefly point out to you, this is the USB-C input over here. This is considered a DC input, 9 to 17 volts, that we can actually power this whole kit from a PD power bank over here via that USB-C input, which is a really nice feature that we don't need to necessarily be plugged into the wall. We can actually go ahead and power it mobile, nice and free, anywhere we want. The whole kit, screen and the switcher itself. And you'll also see over here onto the left hand side the OSEE tail layer, which is mounted to the Duet cheese plate. And we're going to have a closer look at the view from this camera shortly, because I do have two of these tail layers connected to the Duet via NDI. Let's continue with HDMI input number 3. So here is HDMI input number 3. This is another PTZ camera, just giving you guys a nice closer look at the Duet from a side angle. I do also have some presets configured over here. So let's go to preset number 2 onto the joystick controller. Let's go to preset number 3. Preset number 3 is taking a look at one of these other PTZ cameras, which were connected via SDI. Let's go to preset number 4. Preset number 4 is just a little bit further back. Preset number 5. Giving you guys a shot of me over here, and we'll go back up to preset number 1, that nice tight up view of the Duet kit. And finally, let's go ahead and switch over to my HDMI input number 4. Remember, I was telling you I configured my HDMI output to be configured as a multi-view, and I'm sending it back in as an input on input number 4 HDMI. So let's go ahead and switch to it. And bingo, here we are, guys. Now a closer look for you guys to be able to see my multi-view screen and all the menu and setup. Just to go ahead and give you an example, I can come over here, press menu, and now we can have a closer look at all of these settings and all of these different features. So let's go over here into the menu briefly, and I'm going to change a couple of settings. Let's go ahead to settings all the way towards the bottom, and we're going to come to, in this case, output source. Okay, and if we scroll down over here to the very bottom, which says streaming / recording / UVC, so any live streaming, any recording, or anything I'm sending via that USB-C, UVC output like I am to my PC, what do you want it to show? So right now I have it set to program, which I would normally do, but what I want to change it over to is the multi-view. So again, we can go ahead and have a closer look at these menu and settings, just so things look a little bit better for you guys. So let's go ahead and select that multi-view. So now I am actually recording my multi-view screen over here. So whatever you guys are seeing in this multi-view screen is exactly what I'm looking at as the Duet operator. So let's go ahead and get you guys a little bit more familiar. So first off, what I want you guys to look at is very top right hand side. You see the big image that we have over here. That is me talking to you guys, and you can see it's labeled as program. So whatever is in the program is what you're live streaming or recording, sending to your viewers. Over here to the left, you see another big image video playing, which is the top down view, and that is my preview. So I can call up a video source or image and basically preview it before I send it over live. So right now I'm programming me talking to you guys, but I can go ahead and simply make a switch. So anything that was just in the preview is now keyed into my live stream, into my program. So just underneath the program and preview, we do have these 4 boxes which are labeled as input 1, 2, 3, and 4 horizontally, and those are all my inputs, either my 4 HDMI inputs in this case or my 4 SDI inputs when I had switched over to SDI. And you can see input number 1 has a green box around it. That basically means it's in the preview window, and HDMI input number 2 has a red box around it, which is telling me it's in the program window. So if I go ahead and make a cut, you can see also the colors cut from red to green or green to red between input number 1 and 2. So let's cut back over here. So now let's go to the very bottom row, starting off onto the left hand side. You can see I do have an image coming in, video image, and is labeled as auxiliary, and my auxiliary source is set to NDI, and that is the OSEE tail layer PTZ camera right over here, and we're going to have a closer look at that shortly. So why don't we bring my auxiliary source to my preview. Here we go, we got it in preview. Let's go ahead and make a cut. So that is an NDI image coming from this PTZ camera over here. So let's go ahead and cut back to it. We're going to go ahead shortly and dive into the NDI cameras, but I just want to get you guys a little bit more familiar with the multi-view screen first. So again, auxiliary bottom left. Next we have still 1 and still 2 at the very bottom row into the middle. Those are basically my images that I loaded from my SD card, PNG images. Finally, onto the very far right hand corner at the bottom, we do have a bunch of information. For an example, our audio level meters, our recording time and space that we have remaining onto the SD card, along with that I'm recording and the duration that I'm recording, and information regarding my streams that I have enabled. Now that you guys are more familiar with the multi-view screen, why don't I go ahead and show you how to actually connect your cameras via NDI. So if you're just getting set up with the Duet kit, it already comes with the NDI license, so there's nothing you need to do. do. You just need to do basically this one setting that I'm telling you over here. So come over here and press the menu button. Let's go ahead and scroll down to settings. Let's click on the settings tab and we're going to scroll down to source selection. So we're going to see how often we're going to be coming to this setting over here, source selection, quite often into this video. So let's go ahead and click on that. We're going to scroll down to auxiliary. As you see, it's set to NDI. Perfect. So that's what you want to make sure if you want to connect your NDI sources. Go to source selection in the settings, scroll down to auxiliary and make sure it's set to NDI, because we do have three options at the time of this making this video. We have NDI, as you see, we have USB camera as well, and we do have the player. So just keep in mind that we can only do one of these at a time. Either we're going to be using NDI feature, or we're going to be using the player, which is basically playing videos from the SD card, or we're going to go ahead and use the webcam feature. So between those three, you can only use one at a time in your auxiliary input. So as you see, I have it set to NDI. So bang, we're done. We made sure that it's set to NDI. Okay, so now what we're going to do is close the menu, and over here on the Duet, we want to press and hold for a few seconds until the NDI list appears onto the right hand side of the multi-view screen. So I'm pressing and holding, and bang, as you see, I have an NDI list. And these are a bunch of my PTZ cameras that I have connected today in this video, but these cameras are actually connected, as we were talking about, via HDMI and SDI, but they also support NDI. And again, each one of these PTZ cameras that I'm using in this video do have a network Ethernet cable connected to each one of them. That's how I'm able to control it with this controller, and also enable the NDI from those PTZ cameras. But the two PTZ cameras that I want to show you guys for this example are the two OBSBot tail layers. So as you guys already saw, we had this one over there. You can see it's selected tail layer. It has a check mark beside it at the very top. Let's come over here to the second last option, which is another tail layer. So let's go ahead and select it. And bingo, as you see over here in my auxiliary screen, also in my preview screen, that is the other PTZ camera, the OBSBot tail layer, which is connected via NDI. Fantastic. And check this out. That's actually camera number 7. So let's call up camera number 7. So I do also have some presets configured on this joystick controller for the OBSBot tail layer, which is connected via NDI. So let's go ahead and call up preset number 2, which is just kind of zooming in a little bit for you guys, just to kind of show you again the behind the scenes, my overall setup, just kind of perspective of everything a little bit more. So let's go back to preset number 1. Fantastic. So let's say you wanted to switch to a different NDI source. No problem. Press and hold the play button again. NDI list pops up and we can switch back over to the other tail layer. Bingo. Now the other tail layer is there. I can go ahead and cut to that into my video. As you see, I do have that one configured to camera number 6 onto the joystick controller. So let's call up preset number 2 with this camera. Boom, look at that preset, giving you guys a closer look at my audio buttons over here and controls on the Duet. Let's go to number 3 preset. Preset number 3 is giving you guys a closer view over here on the Duet. Let's go to preset number 4. Preset number 4 is giving you guys a closer look inside the Duet here, that USB-C that can power it via the PD delivery power bank. We got the fan switch, the main power switch, and I believe I have another preset specifically for that. Nice zoomed in a little bit more for you. So again, the built-in fan, the 2 switches, a headphone jack, and my microphone input. So just to give you guys an example, our NDI source doesn't always actually need to be coming from a camera. It could actually be coming from our PC if we wanted to. And that's exactly what I've done for this next demonstration. I have downloaded and installed NDI tools, which is basically sending a screen capture via NDI HX to the Duet. So let's see if we can find it. Press and hold the play button. There's our NDI list. And if we scroll down here, what do we see? Very bottom option highlighted in blue, desktop. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and select that. And guess what's going to be coming into my auxiliary? You got it. So as you guys can see, yes, the video has its own audio. It's coming from my PC, and I specifically left the video not playing on full screen like I normally would, just to kind of show you guys and prove to you guys that it is actually coming from my PC, just on YouTube, playing on loop. So this is a great way to add in any kind of PowerPoints or presentations or any kind of websites or information that you want to grab from your PC and send it over here wirelessly via NDI. Really fantastic feature. And as you see, I got full control of the audio. I'm dialing it down. I can even turn it off if I want to. So let's go ahead and raise up the volume a little bit. So guys, there is a quick little example of sending NDI from our PC over here to the Duet Kit. I want to go ahead and turn on the player for you guys to play some videos off my SD card in the auxiliary source. So let's come down here to settings, click on settings. You've already guessed it, source selection. We're going to come here to auxiliary and switch from NDI, not USB, but we're going to go to player. So let's select player and bingo. Now we're going to be able to play videos from my SD card. So let's close this menu for now. As you see over here underneath auxiliary, we actually do have a black image. So let's bring auxiliary, let's make it bigger over here to the preview. Now we have that black screen onto the top left-hand side, but that's actually the first frame of the video. So let's go ahead and make that cut. And as soon as it switches from preview to program, the video is going to start playing. Ready? 1, 2, 3, cut. There it is, guys. There's a quick little video playing off the SD card. Really nice feature. I can pause it. I can adjust the audio, all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and skip to the next video over here. So I'm just going to press the arrow button. It's going to bring us to the next video. As you can see, we in the preview screen, we have that white image, and that's because it's the first frame of the next video. So let's do the same thing. Let's make a cut. And as soon as we make that cut, the video is going to automatically start playing. This time, instead of using the cut button, we'll use the T-bar handle. So perfect. As you guys can see, being able to play videos from the SD card is a fantastic feature. I really do like that. So now let's go ahead. Finally, let's change our auxiliary source. Let's go to menu, same thing as before, scroll down to settings, and within settings, we're coming to source selection. And now we're going to go down to auxiliary and change it from player, and we're going to change it over to USB webcam. And just like I told you guys earlier, let's go ahead and do this, baby. I have my auxiliary source now switched over to a webcam. Yes, this is the OBSBot Meet 2. It's a 4K 30 frames per second camera. I have it configured to 1080p 30 frames, and I just have it mounted over here at the top of the Duet, specifically more to kind of just demonstrate that we can also use webcams incorporated to this device. USB-C number 2. Really nice feature, auxiliary source. I really do like it. Well, guys, that looks like a wrap for today's video. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully you guys have learned something along the way. If you guys cannot tell already, I'm definitely super impressed with the Duet Kit, built-in, all-in-one, the features that it has to offer for what we were paying, HDMI, SDI, NDI, all of these different inputs, even being able to record to an SSD hard drive. The list kind of goes on. As you can see, it's super easy to use, very creative. I have a bunch of cameras over here today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm not even done. I can connect even more cameras. Hopefully you guys have learned a little bit more about the device itself. Obviously we can't cover everything in this video, so again, any questions, let me know down in the comment section down below, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Till next time, peace.